Welcome to the Rocky Mount Area Chamber Buzz. Today's guests are Johnny Bass and Angie Hunter. We'll be talking about the awards banquet coming up for small businesses. Our show is proudly brought to you by Roger G. Taylor and Associates, and we want to show you some of the wonderful things that have been happening in our community lately. Let's take a look.
Let's say United Way.
United Way.
I'm gonna get one more. United Way again.
United Way.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to tell you that it is an honor to do a ribbon cutting for the United Way. This is an organization that does so much for Rocky Mount, and Jenny particularly. Oh gosh, I love you. Our history goes way back. So glad you're back with the United Way. It's just not the same without you.
Thank you.
So thank you for being part of the chamber. We love you. We love you being part of Rocky Mount. You do so much for us, and so this is our very small way of giving back to you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for being here, but our board and our staff who are back here who've worked so hard to make this building happen. So thank you, Amanda and Teresa, the chamber, Julia, and of course our board chair, Jim Gray, past board chair, Chris Miller's here to help us cut the ribbon. And just thank you for being here and for all that you do to support us as well. We appreciate it. Bob Boyd, back behind you, chair of our building committee who helped make this building happen. So thank you.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, bye.
We're just very happy to be here in this new building, I'll tell you. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the United Way Board, we're delighted with this building, the history of service that came with this building, and we're going to try to be great stewards of it. We just appreciate the partnership with the Chamber, as always. Thanks a lot.
We are going to have such a good time today talking about small business awards. There's a monthly award, and then there's the big awards banquet in June of every year. And Johnny and Angie, y'all are on the committee now. Johnny, you're the former chair. You served a couple years as the chairman of the Small Business
I only served
Committee.
1 year, and that was 3 years ago. Roger's been the chairman for the last 2.
But you've stayed so involved, and whenever Roger can't help with the interviews, you're right there, aren't you?
It's fun. I mean, working with small business, my entire work life has been with small business, entrepreneurial type people. And this is the perfect venue to know and meet, and especially our monthly small business winners. Some of the individuals I've known personally. One of the winners has done all my car work for the last 30 years. There's nobody else worked on one of my vehicles except for Glenn Bottoms over at Bottoms Auto.
And he is our April award winner.
He is. He's our newest winner. I was there this past week and saw him and his wife and talked to him briefly about it, and they are very excited.
Well, and it's so much fun, Angie, isn't it, to celebrate the successes of local people?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just convinced that small business makes the world go round. And you hear about the large corporations, but it was really only until I became a small business that I really saw the action and the activity and the hard work and the energy that is perpetuated by being in small business.
And physical therapy for women, which is what you do. And
yes.
You launched that how many years ago, Angie?
8
years
going
ago.
into the 8th year.
And that was very, very brave of you. right, Johnny? I mean,
It was. Angie, I'm sure, would tell us that when you started that business, you put everything you had in this world was on the line. I mean, from you were renting a place, and you were incurring all types of expenses that you had never incurred, and you knew they were going to go on every month, and you were hoping that you were going to have plenty of clients to help you pay the bills.
Yes, I think, you know, having people walk in your door is the scary part, because you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have anyone coming through the door, it's quite frightening. But you do the best that you can do, and you do celebrate your successes. And part of being the chamber is that you can see what other types of businesses are doing, and it just helps give you new energy for your particular business.
And you meet other people who have some who have been through what you're going through, and they can give you reassurances or offer advice as to what you're doing. I mean, it's networking, and the chamber is the chamber is all about networking.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's absolutely because we have members who are extremely large, like Cummins and
Body Noel,
Nash
and
Healthcare
Systems.
Nash Healthcare, and then we have our smaller businesses, just like Angie and I. We're one person at a time. It's just us.
Well, and we've got 17 if you count the part-time ones at Almonds, but as another female business owner, you learn stuff every day, and you've got to be open to learn. But that's one of the many beauties of the Small Business Committee of the Chamber. You can meet people who can share ideas, who can encourage each other. But the part I like about the committee the most is we celebrate each other. We celebrate people who care about Rocky Mountain. Talk a little bit, and I'll throw this out to either one of you, the criteria. Angie, you want to give some of the criteria that we look at on a monthly basis to determine the winners?
Yes. Growth of your company, the stability of the company, the ingenious ideas or new products, innovations, and service to the community. You cannot stay inside your doors. You need to be out and active in the community to complete the criteria for the award.
And when we go and do the shows, because Johnny has co-hosted a number of them, the final one that you mentioned about giving back, that's a whole lot of what this is about. That, you know, we want to see that you're there, you've sustained, you've grown, you've helped give jobs to other people in many cases. But also we really want to know that you've taken your energy and your success, the dollars that you bring in from people in the community, and reinvested in our community.
Yeah. And one other thing too, there's nothing any greater than being recognized by your peers. These people, the individuals, the companies that win these awards, you're being recognized by your peers. And there's nothing any better than that, than being recognized by the people around you as doing something exceptional.
And they get a whole TV show all about them, and go there, and Andrew and Edward do such a good job going around and getting videos so we can show a lot of the operations. And
meeting the employees.
Right. And the employees love that.
Oh, absolutely. They get a chance to tell what they do. So that's most people, that's probably the first time they've ever been on a camera except at home. And it's very intimidating.
Oh, it is intimidating. How about reading to us this past year's, the winners for the past year?
Yes. The July winner was Carolina Regional Orthopedics. The August winner was Eastern Hydraulics and Power Transmissions. September was Patios and Blooms. October was Carney and Company. November, Sunset Studios. December was Oakley Collier. February was Simmons and Harris. March was Wires Inc. April was Bottoms Auto, and the one to be announced very quickly is Kevin Davenport. So
great array of people who have been here a long time and clearly have invested in many ways in our community.
They have.
And the success of our community. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to talk more. Stay with us, please. We want to thank Roger G. Taylor & Associates once again for making this show possible, and he has for the last 2 years been the chairman of the Small Business Committee for the Chamber. 3 years ago, it was Johnny Bass, but Roger does a great job, doesn't he?
He does. Roger's very committed to our community and to the chamber, and he makes this program possible, as you mentioned. And Roger is one of those people who's behind the scenes doing many things that are really great for this community. We need to thank
Great
Roger.
example. Grew up in Sandy Cross. I mean,
Grew up
stayed here, continued doing wonderful things.
Right. And he was one of a number of people about that age group who came out of Sandy Cross who have been very successful leaders in the community.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about, we want everybody to start thinking, because May is nominations month.
That's correct.
For Small Business Awards. And Angie, you and I got one year, you got 1 year. Have you ever won one?
No, I have not.
Johnny, we'll have to think about that,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But it really, it's an amazing honor. It really, I was small business woman and you were Rookie of the Year, and it's just a tremendous shot of encouragement to have the community recognize you and do that. And it's fun for the chamber to be able to also hold people up and give them these awards. So we want all of you to be a part of helping us come up with great nominations. Let's talk first about the ones that will come from the monthly winners. Johnny, which ones are those?
The primary one is the annual Small Business of the Year.
For the whole year?
For the whole year. They come from the group that we just listed a while ago. And I'm not sure, but maybe the lady,
I think historically they have. I don't think it's a hard and fast rule.
Right.
And the legacy often comes from that group too.
The legacy is the one where a business has been passed down through generations, and it's multiple generations. I remember the year that I was chairman of the Small Business Committee, that it was Superflame. And
Brad Bobbitt and Ray Brin.
Absolutely.
Wonderful
people. And that's an organization that gives back to the community. If I remember correctly, they put a certain amount of money aside for people who are underprivileged in the community. They actually help them with their LP gas bill.
Yeah.
Sure do. I mean, that's just the best kind.
Absolutely. I remember when Neil Nelson got it. Okay, who got it last year? I'm trying to think who got it last year.
John Haggerty and his family received the award, but it wasn't last year. It was maybe 3 years ago.
But if you've talked to any of them, they can tell you just how much fun it was, and to celebrate generational endurance is something we like. But we also have some awards that do not necessarily come from this list.
The Downtown Business of the Year.
And they nominate their own from the downtown committee.
They do. That is actually done, I think, through the city. We actually get that winner from the city.
And Rookie of the Year, which is what you were 1 year, a long time ago, and here you are now, still in business. But that's encouraging too, for somebody to get the Rookie of the Year, as you so articulately shared.
It was a confidence builder, because you're out there and you're not quite sure, if you're going in the right direction, and to receive that award, to be, as Johnny said, recognized by your peers is a tremendous confidence builder. And you meet so many people and get so many fresh ideas to continue and enhance and keep your business new.
It's a challenge when you're sitting in your office and the phone's not ringing and no one's coming through the door, and then all of a sudden there is another person. That's a real deal.
Let's talk about the makeup at the banquet. It's great food. We're not sure yet. It's to be announced to the speaker. They're diligently working on it, and that will be announced as soon as we know who it'll be. Yes. The date, again, is usually the second or third week in June. The winners usually get a table and bring their cohorts, if they have them, to let them celebrate with them.
They are told, the winners actually told a week or so in advance. And that's a fun day we spend here as members of the Small Business Committee, going through and choosing each category as a winner. It's a real...
You get to be a part of making people happy and honoring people, which is always a privilege to do that. But there will be a good speaker. We always have a really good speaker. And then there will be a presentation. Somebody will stand up, and the audience doesn't know who the winner is. And that's always a lot of the excitement, because someone will prepare a citation of giving interesting background, and slowly it's kind of like the Academy, well, not the Academy Awards, but it's kind of like the annual Distinguished Citizen, where nobody knows, and little by little things are revealed, and then you know, and you hear this yay or oh or something. That's so much fun, but it's a great evening.
After the event, when everybody gets back up front, all the various winners and the photographs are taken for the newspaper and for the Chamber's
and the
website,
billboard over
and
by
the
the library.
That's right. That's the new thing that we now have is Lamar Advertising is kind enough to allow the Chamber to use their billboard for a certain amount of time. That's one of those in-kind donations that we're grateful for.
And people can self-nominate, and don't feel bad about that. We're really always looking for good nominees for not only the monthly winners, but for other categories too. So try and put that behind you if you think, oh, no, oh, shucks, I can't do that. We want them to.
Absolutely. And if someone has an idea of a person they would like to nominate, it's easy enough to any one of the three of us or Roger or anyone here at the Chamber. Bobby is primarily, I think, responsible for that part of it. But there's always, if you come up with an idea, we'll help get the form filled out.
Yeah, and I would say if you're hesitant to fill it out, do call one of us, because we'd love to help you. I know we're always proud when we come into the meeting with some nominations, because we feel like we're adding to the pot. And even if somebody doesn't get it 1 month, the nominations are held. Bobby keeps a file of them, and we bring them back and revisit them.
And the main thing is if you just come up with the name of the organization and with some general background based on your interaction with them, then we will help get the form filled out and in place.
And it's online too. People can go.
It is.
You can go
and then
there.
you can just fax it or email it, however you choose to send it in.
And huge elaboration is not always the key to that. I mean, just answer the questions, and then if the committee thinks that it would be a good fit, like Glenn Bottoms, I mean, he's been here, what, 30 years?
I remember when he bought the building, or actually he built that building. He bought the property and built the building next door. I was in an office right next door, and I met Glenn back then, and he's one of those people. I don't worry about my car when I take it to Glenn. If it needs something done, he takes care of it. He's a true friend.
And the feedback we get from the winners, Oakley Collier, I'll see Nick Wade, and he'll say, I love that. And I think one of the most fun things too is, as you alluded to, we try to always introduce all the employees who work there. And for many of them, it's the only time they're on television, but they deserve to be.
And people like Oakley Collier, when you look around this community, the things they have designed that are in this community, I mean, their handprint and fingerprints all over this community. It's they've given so much to the community.
And we'll have to say too, like Wires that won not too long ago, he was an entrepreneur who started up a business, worked for Circuit City, and he has grown so much that now he's hiring other people who were laid off when Circuit City left, and Best Buy.
He now has 4 people. I was just out there this week, and he did some repair work on my XM radio in the car. And in fact, I've had several people who've talked to me about starting a small business, and he is a person I use an example, because he can tell you what it's like to put it all on the line. In other words, you go from working with a company with good benefits to unemployed, and all of a sudden you're taking everything you have and putting it on the line. He is the perfect example in this community. I don't know of a better example of somebody who started from absolute scratch.
And had a wife and a child, and has since then had another baby.
Absolutely,
so
yes.
He really
and I believe he has 3 young men, if it's not 4. And I'm not sure that all of them are full time, but they were out there and when I was there this week. So.
Well, as a parting word, we need people to send in nominations, to call one of us, to call the Chamber, ask for help submitting a nomination, but we would just welcome that. Look out on there. You can go to the website. Non-members can go to the website too. I think it's a little bit different rate will be charged if somebody's a member or non-member to attend the banquet. But it's truly a celebration of our community.
Yeah, and it's one of those times to network and meet people, to meet our people in the community. And I encourage everyone who's not a member of the Chamber, it's very important. And you have to, I personally mark my calendar for Chamber events after hours ribbon cuttings, And I treat them just like it's a business appointment. And the only time I don't personally attend one is when I do have a client who has a need that's immediate that I can't work around. So other than that, and it's meant a lot to me.
Businessly, and for business and personal.
For personal, business-wise, but personal-wise, I've met so many wonderful friends. I've made so many friends.
Well,
In
good.
fact, I think if I remember correctly, I probably
We're
met
friends,
you.
right?
Miss Angie, I've met
Yeah.
you guys.
Well, and thank you so much. And we do hope to see you at the Small Business Banquet. But get involved. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll help you with your nominations, nominating you or somebody you know. So have a great day. See you next week.